Ever been abroad and noticed something weird about a brand you love back home? Well, today, we are pulling back the curtain on the huge, high-stakes decisions that secretly shape the products you see all over the world.
Right? You're traveling, you walk into a McDonald's expecting your usual, but bam, there's a McSpicy paneer burger on the menu in India. Or maybe you see a car ad that feels nothing like the ones you see at home. That's not a mistake. It is a massive, multi-billion-dollar strategy. And for these giant global companies, this is everything. Figuring out how much to change or how much to keep the same when they cross a border, well, it's a massive balancing act that can literally make or break their success.
So this gets us to what we're calling the global brand dilemma. This is the core challenge every single company runs into the second it decides to think bigger than its own backyard.
And at its heart, the question they have to ask is pretty simple. But man, the answer is anything but. It's not just about the product on the shelf. We're talking about tweaking everything from the price tag to how the company is even managed in that new country. Okay, so to answer that huge question, companies usually start from one of two completely opposite corners. Two totally different ways of thinking about how to win over the world. And here they are, the two main paths a company can take. On one side, you've got global standardization. Just think of it as the one-size-fits-all playbook. The idea here is that a strong brand is a consistent brand, no matter where you find it. But on the other side, you've got local adaptation, which argues the exact opposite. It says, to really connect with people, you have to change. You have to become part of the local scene. So why on earth would you go with standardization? Well, the perks are massive. For one, you build this single, powerful global identity. Think about IKEA, right? The furniture, the store layout. It's instantly recognizable anywhere in the world. And from a business standpoint, it's kind of a dream. Making one thing for everyone is way cheaper and simpler than making 100 different versions. But then you've got the other side of the coin, the case for adaptation. And it is powerful. By tailoring your brand, you're not just selling a product. You're showing respect for the local culture. You know, Coca-Cola is a great example. The drink is the same, but they create these incredibly local ad campaigns that tap into national pride. Suddenly, you're not just some foreign company, you're their company. And that is a huge advantage.
All right, so we get the two big ideas, right? But where does the rubber actually meet the road? Let's dive into the 4 key areas where this choice between same and different really comes to life.
It really all boils down to these 4 critical pillars. Every single decision to standardize or to adapt plays out right here in what you sell, what you charge for it, how you tell people about it, and how you run the whole show behind the scenes. Let's break them down. First up, the product. This is probably the most obvious one, right? For example, Frito-Lay knows that cheese-flavored chips aren't a big hit in China. So what do? They sell cucumber and Szechuan chicken-flavored chips instead because that's what people there actually want to eat. Next, price. And this just makes sense. A premium brand like Starbucks can't possibly charge the same price for a latte in Seattle that it does in Ho Chi Minh City, where the average income is completely different. Smart companies adapt their prices to fit the local economy. Sometimes they'll even make smaller products just to hit a price that feels right to local customers.
Then we have marketing. And honestly, this one is huge. A joke that's hilarious in one culture could be confusing or even offensive in another. Real success means speaking the local language, both literally and figuratively. It's why Nike's ads in Brazil are all about soccer, while their commercials in the US might be about basketball or football. And finally, we have operations, all the crucial stuff that happens behind the curtain. A company that's used to a very direct, top-down management style in Germany might have to learn a more collaborative, consensus-building approach to succeed in Japan. This can even mean changing where they get their supplies, sourcing things locally instead of shipping them all over the planet. Okay, so now we see the playbook, right? But this is where we get to the real core of it all. This isn't about one strategy being good and the other bad. It's all about weighing the pros and cons of each choice. And this, right here, is probably the most important thing to understand. The best global brands in the world aren't purely one or the other. They are absolute masters of the mix and match. They know exactly when to stick to their global guns and when to bend to what the local market needs. This table just nails the whole dilemma. Look, if you standardize, boom, you get that powerful brand identity, and you save a ton of money. The downside, you can come off as a total outsider, completely out of touch. But if you adapt, you get that deep local connection, a perfect market fit. The catch? It costs more, and you risk making your global brand feel a little fuzzy. Every single decision is a trade-off between these two columns. Which all leads to this central idea.
The genius here isn't about finding some magic formula that works everywhere. The genius is in getting really, really good at analyzing these trade-offs for every single market, every single time.
So where does all this leave us? Well, what you have now is a brand new lens, a new way of seeing the global marketplace and all the products you interact with every single day. Because at the end of the day, there is no single answer. The best strategy isn't a choice between column A or column B. It's a masterful blend of standardization and adaptation. It's a custom-built approach, a unique cocktail mixed just right for the culture, the economy, and the people of every place a brand wants to be.
So here's what I want you to do. The next time you see a global brand, take a closer look. Check out the product, the price, the ads, and ask yourself that very question. Was this thing made for everyone on the planet, or was it, in some small way, made just for me? Now you have the framework to see the hidden strategy, that high-stakes balancing act behind almost everything you buy. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.